Okay, so welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be talking about my exam routine. I'm just going to be sharing like what I do personally, what works for me, and what I keep doing every single time I have a midterm or exam. Okay, so these things I'm going to be sharing are more ritualistic and beneficial to help you succeed in the exam. So there's a difference between like how to study versus an exam routine and how to get yourself in the exam mindset. And when I say exam, that could be pertaining to midterms, tests, quizzes, anything that kind of is stressing you out or that you need to prepare for. So yeah. Okay, so number one, we're gonna start like as if this was like a time frame. So the day before your exam, depending on when your exam is during the day, it could be in the morning, in the night, whenever. Just get a good night's sleep. Good night's sleep is beneficial for retaining information. If you're gonna choose between quantity and quality, you wanna go for quality because you could be having a 10-hour sleep, but you're waking up, you're in and out of your rest, you're not really getting like a really deep reparative sleep. So definitely quality matters way more than quantity. You could have a rest that's 6 hours, but you just had a healthy deep sleep that was really more beneficial than it would if it was more hours. So if you're at that point where it's probably like 11 o'clock at night, you realize there's a lot of stuff that you haven't covered, you should be going to bed because your exam's early in the morning, but you still won't know these things. You can stay up a little bit longer, be familiarized with them, get to know what's most important, have a really restful, deep sleep with a lot of other sleep methods that you can be doing. I'm also going to be making a future video on sleep, so stay tuned. Basically on how to get a deep sleep, how to fall asleep, how to stay asleep. So that will be useful in aiding with this process as well. The next step in all of this for me is questions. So if you're at that point where you have the exam or midterm really close now, you have to scrap what you've been doing, scrap your note taking, your textbook reading, your blah blah blah, and you're just doing questions now. If you don't do questions in general, this is when you need to start doing questions. So switch it all up, do your mock midterms, do your mock exams, any questions from the textbook, any questions that you've made. I've also have a study video on where I make my questions, so I'll link that in the down bar as well. Also, if you don't like doing questions or there's not enough questions or you finished all the questions that you could have been doing, you could be writing things out that you know. So you just get a blank piece of paper and just start writing out everything that you know and remember. And then that also points out to you what did you not remember that you need to just look over really fast. So if you wrote out all these processes and then you remember that, okay, I feel pretty good about these, I don't feel good about these. So then you can go back and refer to those right before, and then you know your weak points. Also, another tip is like saying it out loud. So saying your notes out loud, saying things that you need to know out loud. If there's a certain process you need to know, saying the words, enzymes, molecules, things like that. And then studying with a friend. So if you and your friend are about to take the same exam, you can talk to them about the questions, they can test you, you can test them, and you guys can talk about what you know and what maybe things that you don't know, and then like brush up together. So this can be helpful, but also can be harmful. If your friend is bringing questions to you that you haven't studied or you don't remember, this could really stress you out and then kind of discourages you in a way, so don't let that discourage you. If there's something that you don't know, it's best to just shut it off and just be like, okay, I'm gonna take the L. I'm not gonna know that question on the exam, but it's not gonna stress me out and then make the other questions hard for me. And this is really good because you need to know in yourself that you're confident in what you know and what you don't know. So if you don't know a certain section, it's okay. I went into exams not knowing chapters, still did okay because I'm so confident that I know the other chapters. I just had an exam recently where the first couple pages were the chapters that I really didn't study. So I was getting like, oh gosh, like so far it's not going good. But then I was like confident because I knew that the rest of the exam was going to be the other chapters that I've actually studied really hard for. So don't get discouraged just because you don't know a couple questions. You can just take the L, You don't know those questions. It's okay. Get past it. Okay, so where are we now? We're waiting outside the exam room. I don't know how everyone's set up, but how my university sets it up is we're kind of just waiting outside the room until they're ready, and then we all just come in. So when we're outside, you kind of hear everyone studying. Everyone has their notes out. This is a really bad idea. Again, it just portrays that same idea of if I don't know something, it stresses me out, and then I get discouraged. So you want to avoid that. Put your earphones in and take a break from it. Just take a nice little break, put some music on. This is where you can listen to something like an exam guided meditation. So there's one that I actually really love, and I'll link it in the description as well. There's another video I'll link for you guys. And you can listen to that right before the exam. You can listen to it the night before. You can listen to it 2 days before. It really helps to calm your nerves if you're really nervous for something, and just helps you see that your life is not defined by this exam. You're still you, even if you fail or pass. Okay, so when you have your earphones in, just try to meditate before the exam, calm yourself down, and just breathe, basically, because you've already done all you can. You're at the exam, there's nothing else you can do. So the only thing you can do is relax and take the exam. Do the best that you can. Don't stress, don't be hesitant towards your answers. Like, be confident in what you know and what you don't know. If you don't know a lot, and this is a really bad exam for you, then the only thing you can do is learn from it. So for next time, you learn to study earlier, to make better notes, to pay attention to these certain things, because on the exam it could be like, oh, draw these diagrams, and you're like, okay, like the professor likes to put a lot of things about diagrams on the exam, so next time I'm going to pay attention to the diagrams and how can I draw those. So you can study by drawing those out. So just learning from your mistakes instead of stressing over them. Another thing that I want to mention is where you sit. So if you don't have a choice in where you sit, you don't have a choice in where you sit. But if you do, I would best suggest to isolate yourself as much as possible. I usually go to the very, very back in the corner. Or if you don't really like being in the back, you can't really see what's going on, you can just go in the middle, but just on the sides. This is just so you have space to think. You're not getting influenced by other people talking or people's answers too close to yours, and then you're getting stressed out if you're like, oh, this person has an answer. Like, not that I'm encouraging cheating, but if you see somebody else's Scantron and then you're just like, so things like that. Be confident in what you know, be confident in what you don't know, and just stick it out. And then be comfortable when you're sitting down. So if you need to, if you're allowed, bring a water bottle, bring your lip balm, tissues if you need to. Take your shoes off. I usually take my shoes off and just like bring my legs up and like cross my legs, and then just get really comfortable when I'm doing it, because that's usually how I'm studying. Wear comfy clothes, feel good about yourself. So if you want to do some makeup, you can do that, because if you do feel better about yourself and how you feel, you're gonna most likely be more confident in what you're writing down. It's all about the confidence, guys. And you can trick yourself also by saying, I am excited. Instead of telling yourself, I am nervous, just say, I am excited. Just kind of flips your emotions, kind of tricks yourself into just being like, oh, this is like a good thing. So avoid things like, I am stressed, I am gonna fail. I hear a lot of people saying this right before an exam, I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna fail. Don't say that, because then you are gonna fail. You're just manifesting that for yourself. So just be confident. And the very, very last thing I do before an exam is I give my power and my trust to the higher power. You're giving your trust to that power that is ultimately in charge of your success. So just trusting the universe, trusting God, trusting Allah, whoever is your higher power. You're just trusting in that power to bring you to success and guide you through the exam. And that's the only thing that you can do at this point. So that's basically my exam routine. Of course, there's things like eating healthy, actually studying, working hard, taking notes, making questions for yourself, and being on top of things. But these are just this is my way of just getting right into the exam in a proper mindset, ready, setting myself up for success every single time I do a midterm or exam. So that's just my routine and what I do. And that's pretty much it for today, guys. So just subscribe and hit the thumbs up. And I hope this helped you guys in some way or another. And thank you for watching.